This is your girl, Michelle,
This is your girl Mariah, also known as Mariah Amazing.
and you are tuned into Melanin Voices. Hey,
Hi everyone.
hey, hey. So, we have so much to talk about. Well, I'm excited to talk about this specifically for our Melanin Media. That is the wedding. Since we want to get straight into it, I want to get straight into if you guys didn't watch it or if you guys haven't been in tune to their show, but the Gucci Mane and Keisha Kayor, is that his last name?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Exactly how you say it. Keisha Kayor.
Yeah, Kayor's wedding, which was beautiful. I mean, what did you think about it, Mariah?
I loved it. Obviously it was so her because she's like so like just over the top and not even over the top in a bad way. Just very I don't know. She's just I don't know. It's goals. Like the way she dresses and the way she has this image of hers is very. It made me. I just thought this was Keisha. Like this is Keisha. This is Keisha. But yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it. So I have nothing bad.
That's goals for you? Oh, Mariah, I didn't know
The
that she was
wedding.
goals for you. I didn't know that Keisha was goals for you.
I didn't say that. I said
You
her
did say
wedding.
goals. You did. I heard you.
Her style is gold. I like the way that she dresses and the way that her bags are nice and her clothes are nice to me as well. Her as a human being, I don't know her for her to be gold for me, but how the way she dresses, I do like her style.
Okay. I just don't want the people to get confused, you know? I
You
mean,
know, people do run with it, but no, she's not goals for me. I am my own goals. I want to manifest into a bigger and higher being of myself. But the way that she dresses, her style I like it. Like her style, because it's unique. She's not trying. I don't feel like she's trying to be anyone else but herself, and she does it so well.
right.
But yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it at all. I did watch it.
yeah.
It was a beautiful wedding. I thought it was gorgeous. So many people had so many things to say afterwards, including myself. I just seen. I never knew of them like that until, of course, Gucci Mane came out of jail or prison, and how what she did for him during their time that he was in, and then the whole process of like her flipping his money. So according to, I guess, recent news or stories or whatever the case may be, Gucci Mane went into jail, but before he went into jail, he gave Keisha, I thought it was 9 million, but people tried to correct me and say it was 2 million. I don't care how many million it was. He gave her some money, and by the time he got out, that she happened to flip the funds, and they ended up having more money at the end. So a lot of people really looked up to her and said, like, this is amazing. That's what a woman's supposed to do: hold her man down while he's in jail, flip the money. She deserves a big ring, a big lifestyle, and everything that Gucci Mane's been doing for her. So a lot of people have been considering their relationship and their marriage and things like that as relationship goals or marriage goals and things like that, which is nothing wrong with it to me. Personally, I just think that I've seen a lot of social media, I've seen a lot of news, I've seen a lot of young people coming out saying, like, even young dudes saying that, see, ladies, y'all need to hold it down for your man so y'all can be like Keisha, basically. And I just think it threw me off into, like, that's not what relationship goals are. There's nothing wrong with looking at their relationship, looking at their wedding and some of their lifestyle and saying, you know what, I want that kind of lifestyle for myself, but saying that what Keisha did for him is what you should do for your man who may be in a similar situation as Gucci, which most of your men aren't in the same situation as Gucci, and saying that's your relationship goals. I just want to clear the air on a lot of things that we should look forward in being in a relationship, and that's not one of them. So that's just for me. But what do you think, Mariah? What did you think about the whole? I know I kind of went on a rant on Facebook, so you kind of get what I was saying, where I was coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like earlier when I was saying, her style is so gold. Guys, I didn't mean to say that they are goals, but yeah, like you said, it's great to aspire to have what they have, the things that they may have or whatever the case is. But I feel like we're lacking like when we try to aspire to be them, if you know what I mean. Like how they like, you need a woman like her, but it's just, they kind of didn't like talk about Gucci's infidelity as well, or whatever she had to endure that way as well. And I feel like a lot of times it's like this narrative that we have to be in a toxic relationship in order to reap a good benefit. Like, that doesn't have to be the case at all times. Yeah, Keisha endured that. They went through those trials or tribulations. Kudos to them. But I feel like the missing part of that narrative was Gucci wanted to change. And many times when you want this ride or die, many people aren't willing to change. Are willing to change their ways, are willing to be better, are willing to make a commitment, are willing to grow with their partner. So they're okay with still living that life, and they want you to accept them and be in that toxic space with them because they don't want to do better. And that's not what's happening in that situation. At least that's what I didn't see. So I just feel like many times they're looking at the glamour of what the relationship is now, but they didn't see the fact that, okay, he did mess up, but he actually wanted to change. Many times people aren't wanting to change, willing to change, and want to stay in the same spot and want you to keep at that same level with them. Like, no, that's very toxic, and that's not a story that we should be telling everybody to be living.
Exactly. And let's be clear. Most of you guys' dudes don't have $1 million to give you. Why they're going to jail, or why they're going to the recording studio, or why they're dealing drugs, or why they're going from couch to couch, or baby mama to baby mother. Like, no, some of you guys have just, don't get it confused of looking at Gucci as like this, my man is just like Gucci, or he's on the road to being like Gucci with his rap career, or his thug career, his gangbanging career. Who knows what the case may be. But stop trying to compare yourself and saying, you know what, I need to stay with this dude through thick and thin, even if he's in jail and if he hasn't even gave you $5 while he's in jail, and you putting money on his books, and you're thinking when he gets out that he's going to marry you and give you this big wedding, like probably what he's saying to you over the phone, I'm pretty sure. Or if you're in a relationship where your dude may have more than one baby mother, and maybe he's living on your couch for right now, but he says how much he loves you, but he ain't gave you $5 or $20 to do anything with, then please don't look at your relationship as something you need to stick with because you think one day, magically, or you're going to wake up and he's going to want to change his life and change his career, and he's going to give you some money for you to turn into Keisha and flip it and give you a big wedding and all this hoopla. Like, if your man does not have goals, ambition, income, or is motivated by the situation that he is in so he can provide for you, and you don't see his hustle providing for you, then you need to get out of that toxic relationship. Stop thinking you need to stay with the man because you see his what is the word? You see what he can
Potential?
be. What's the word? Yeah. You can see what
Potential?
you think you know what he's capable of, or whatever the case may be. And then what ends up happening is that he ends up not doing any of that. So I just hate to see my young people thinking that they're in these great relationships with these dudes and they posting these Gucci and Keisha goals and they have it all twisted. Like, it's all twisted, and it's not that fairy tale life that you think you could have. So I'm just gonna be straightforward about it, and those are my beliefs. So take it as you want to, but it is what it is. So there's my thing about that.
I agree. Yeah, you can try to live that fairy tale, but if the reality is not kind of coinciding with the fairy tale, then it's kind of time to give that.
Yeah, it's toxic, like Mariah said. Get out your toxic relationship, move on, and hustle for you, and if need be. So yeah, there goes that. So I had to at least get that off my chest for on the podcast.
We had to talk
about today.
We do, y'all. So hang in there with us. But yeah, that was one of our Melon Media that we wanted to speak about. The other one is this new Netflix series that's coming to Netflix. It'll be starring Michael B. Jordan. It's called Raising Dion. And so basically what the new show is, I think it's an 8-part series, but basically in the show, in Raising Dion, there's this little black boy who has supernatural powers, and his mom is helping him navigate that, in a world like ours. So in the show starring Michael B. Jordan, I believe he's the deceased father of the little boy. So you basically see snippets of him here and there. But yeah, I'm super excited to see it. Like a little black superhero little boy. Who didn't want to see that? So I think this is very cool, and I can't wait for it to air. It doesn't say when exactly, but I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, keep me posted. It's really good. I had no idea. I didn't hear about it until you said something, Mariah. So it seems like it's going to be a really good Netflix series for me to watch.
Absolutely. It's been so cool, especially for little kids, little black kids to see themselves.
Of course.
But yeah. And our next one is Cousin Cardi and Offset are engaged now. So last time, I know a few episodes back, I reported that they were allegedly engaged. They weren't. But now they are really, really engaged. And she seems to be very happy. And I feel like this is like Cardi B's year. Like, number one hit. You know, now she's engaged. She just had like a lot of great things happen to her. So all the best of congratulations to Cardi B. Offset too. But yes, Cardi B for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy for her. It is definitely her year.
Absolutely.
It's just, I mean, it's nice. I heard that I don't think his like ex girl or whoever case maybe like put his number on the internet.
Oh wow.
She was really upset.
Dang.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that, y'all. Come on.
Don't do that.
Have the conversation, but don't do that.
Yeah, don't do crazy stuff. But it seems I'm very happy for them, and I guess my thing I'm looking for is for them to really get married. So I just think there's been a lot of hypeness with them in the media, and it seems like it's perfect timing for it to happen. Their love seems very real at the moment, but very honeymoonish to me. So I want to see if they're able to, tie the knot and really do what they're supposed to do, and hopefully it doesn't end in like this crazy scandal where he breaks it and then she keeps the ring and all this drama, which I don't want to see. So I'm hoping the best for them.
I definitely want them to be successful in their relationship, like Michelle was saying, for sure. But also Michelle did bring up the idea that we should kind of talk to you guys, because it's been like a week and a half or so where we haven't posted an episode, and so we just kind of wanted to let you guys know what we've been up to and why the wait is the way it is. Personally, for myself, I had a schedule change. So if you're a previous listener of the show, you know that for the past 7 or 8 months I've had to work on the weekends, Thursday through Sunday, and so obviously we would record on Tuesdays when I was off, and then we'd upload on Thursdays. Just kind of worked like that for us. But now I have the weekends off, so I have Saturday through Monday off, so we're just trying to get back in a nice rhythm, a nice groove where we can like post and also record. And Michelle has a family now, so it's we have to both work with each other, and so that's one of the reasons. Another reason was I was in Philly, so I was traveling, and for the Friend Zone live event that I talked to you all about, which was super fun. I love Philly. I didn't meet my Philly husband, but that's okay. There'll be another time, hopefully. But yeah, so I had a really great time in Philly. I enjoyed myself. I would definitely go again in the summertime, because I feel like Philly had like a lot of free events in the summertime, and I kind of missed out the time that I went. It was just like kind of late in the game, so we didn't really get to do as much as I would have liked, besides eat, of course, and see all the touristy stuff. But
I still have to go to Philly. I'm this close. I'm literally 2 hours away. No, just haven't been. I know it's on my list of things, places to go. I always want to go to DC instead, so I don't know why. Like Philly, DC. Oh yeah, DC.
Yeah, I've never been to DC either. That's my next stop. I really would love to go there. I've heard so many great things about it.
Yeah, I love DC. Hopefully, Jeff wants to move there one day.
Really, you would move there?
I would love to live in DC.
Would you move there like if you guys got like your ideal job like tomorrow? Would you be like, all right, it's time to go?
I'd be out
later.
I really like DC though. It's a good mix. It's a good in between from the city life and then like DC right in between.
I heard it's a lot of like young Black professionals there as well.
It is. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. But yeah, but that's great, Mariah. I'm happy you went to go see the Friend Zone live. Did you tell them about Melanie Voices or no?
No, because I
You're
didn't have
supposed to tell
time
them.
to. Because like the way we were set up, like we didn't really. It wasn't really much of a like meet and greet kind of thing. We just like walked up, took our picture, said hi, gave him a hug, and like walked away so the person in the back of us could take a photo as well. So you know me, I had my cards ready. I was ready to hand them out. Like here you go, here you go. But it was like very like kind of fast paced.
So that's goals for us. Hopefully, we get to the point where people want to come see us live.
See us live. I would be so happy we can have one in DC where you want to
Right.
go.
Exactly.
Would that be cool? That'd be fun. So fun. You guys, for real, like, that would make our whole lives if y'all decided to, that we were that up there that you guys would want to come see us live. That would be awesome. Have our little snacks, have our drinks. We hook it up for y'all.
We will. It's going to come. We got to speak that into existence. That's all that is.
It is going to happen. I can feel it. I'm saying it. It's going to happen.
Yes, definitely. So, yes, let's go ahead and get into the topic. Because I'm excited to talk about this because it's been heavy on my chest a lot. And I want to not feel like I am the only person who deals with this in the workplace. So, first question. So our topic today is being Black in the workplace. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why I'm going to talk about it, but one of the main reasons is just to give advice and really want other people to share maybe what's going on with them and if they feel the same way and things like that. So my first question is, do you find yourself representing for your race in the workplace? Do you feel like that, Mariah? How is it in your workplace? Is it pretty diverse? Are you the only Black girl?
It's okay. So we have a lot of white people, and there's like some Blacks and like Middle Eastern and Latinos sprinkled in, but it's not like, oh, there's so many of us. There's like, we're like sprinkled in the mix. You know what I mean? I would say there's like probably 5 Black women, about 6 or 7 Black males, kind of thing like that. A few Middle Eastern, a few, Latinos. That's about it.
You have some diversity though. So have you ever felt like
We have a few out of like 300 people though.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
There's like 50 of us all together out of 300 people. So we're like a small percentage. It's about like 10% of us out of 100%. But yes, I do. Do I feel my representing my race, kinda, sort of, because okay. So this is the thing. I don't want to ever. I do feel like I'm holding my race on my back sometimes. Like the way that I have to respond in situations. Sometimes I really want to like just go off. Like why the fuck did you say that? But I gotta be like, what made that okay to say?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain ways I have to approach certain things because I don't want them to be like, oh, she's ignorant or she's ghetto or she's this, she's that. Like, no, I just really want you to explain yourself, and there's certain ways I have to approach a situation. So yeah, I feel like I have like my race on my back sometimes, which is, kind of stressful and frustrating in its own nature. But to answer your question, yes,
definitely.
Yes.
Same.
What about you?
I do. Oh, I felt it recently. Before I didn't feel it as much, but right now I am currently where I was currently a week ago, the only Black female in my workplace. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny because I left Colorado thinking like, I want to work with my people. I want to be around them all the time. And I ended up being in a workplace where I'm literally surrounded, by not anyone that really looks like me too much. So it's all good though, whatever. And I do feel like I have had to represent for my race, specifically Black women in general. If anyone knows me, they know how strongly I feel for Black women. And lately we have had these conversations in the workplace, specifically on the culture of power. And basically there was an article, if you guys want to read on it, it's called The Culture of Power. I'm not sure who it's by, but if you Google it, I'm pretty sure it'll pop up. And it was basically talking about how if you want to be successful as a business person, that you need to be like, well, not be like, but you need to assimilate. Assimilate means, to me, be like a white male, or be like what the white male has set forward to say this is what professionalism looks like. So specifically, we talked about the culture of power and how it's important that if we want to be successful, that we need to assimilate. And I felt very strongly against it specifically. And so, yes, I had to represent for my race in the workplace, and it all came up during this conversation about cultural power. But I'll get into that a little later. The next question is, do you find yourself adapting to your non-Black coworkers, like specifically?
Yes. Well, I adapt. I feel like I adapt to like every situation, to be honest. But do I find myself adapting to my non-Black coworkers? Yeah, I do sometimes, because there's things that yes. I feel myself adapting. Yeah, I do.
Do you do it to make them feel comfortable, or do you feel it just because, like, there's always that, what we call, like, code switching, where you're not going to act the same as you do at home than you do in the workplace, right? Everyone has that. We all have our professional voice we put on when we're talking to someone on the phone.
Right.
So is it something that you're doing, like, what is the reason why you think that you do it?
I do it unsubconsciously. Like, I think my friend Justin called me out, and I was, like, talking to somebody. He was like, that's not how you talk. I was like, I guess it ain't how I talk, but I didn't even notice. Like, he just overheard us speaking, and then, like, he was like, yo, that's not even how you talk. And I'm like, that's crazy, because you're right. But I think I do unsubconsciously, just because I think it's like a coping mechanism. Like, well, let me not feel like it's something that they're putting onto me versus me doing it because I want to do it, kind of thing. But
right.
But yes, I find myself adapting all the time, especially when I'm in like a team meeting. Like, like I'm adapting to how I would regularly say things like, I don't like this shit, versus me being like, oh, I feel like we should probably take this offline about my feelings and how I feel about this topic, because I'd rather just not say in this meeting right now at this moment, kind of thing.
So it's really more of like a tone switch more than, because really what you're doing is just being professional. Like, there's no way you can cuss.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's more so like a tone where you like lighten your voice a little bit. I don't know.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
It reminds me of like you were talking to someone like a British accent or something, and then all of a sudden, like, you find yourself. I don't know if you've seen that Fresh Prince episode with
Jeffrey.
No, not Jeffrey. It was Phil. Phil, and he had a British friend, and his wife always bust him out and said, "Why you sound like them when they come over here?" And he can't get rid of it. So maybe that's something that we can, like, we do around like other people.
Unsubconsciously, yeah, we just
unsubconsciously,
notice. But more so in the workplace for sure.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I do get professional, yes, but my Blackness does. I do keep it a lot of the time too. Not cussing, but when I'm serious about something or I'm passionate about something, it definitely will. Like, you can tell it comes out of me. Like, snap, Michelle's upset, or Michelle feels some type of way about something. So for the most part, I think I keep it. But I can see what you're saying about, like, just changing my tone of voice and things when I'm around my coworkers.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, how do you maintain your identity though in the workplace? Like,
I maintain my identity. Yeah, how do I maintain it? I guess being able to openly discuss some of the things that I'm passionate about. So if it's like women's rights or Black empowerment or just being treated fairly in the workplace in general, I think that's the reason why I keep my identity, because I feel like at some point, me being who I am, I need to speak up on it, or it's just going to keep existing, and then I'm going to end up being uncomfortable in my workplace environment. So that's going to either make me, A, want to leave, or B, resent my coworkers, or really come home and complain to my husband all the time. Yeah. So either one. So I think the way I maintain it is being able to have those open conversations, discussions, and if I feel strongly about something, then basically do it what I'm supposed to do again.
Well, me, how I keep my identity in the workplace is I do like on a lower level where, like my little conversation emoji on in my little communication room that we have at my job. I have have Beyonce with her little fist up with the black leather jacket on and everything. Basically, just being unapologetically black. Or that's like on the lower level. If I see a black person, like we all go out our way to speak to one another. That's how I keep my identity in that way. But on a higher level, like you're saying, like when I'm in a meeting, I definitely make sure that if something doesn't sit right, I'll voice my opinion, or say if I'm in passing and somebody, you know, says a word or something I don't like. Like I heard the other day in my workplace, ratchet. I'm like, I don't even know what ratchet means. I just like they said something like you're
They
ratchet
said
too, or
ratchet
something
in the
like somebody
workplace.
basically as like a verb that they were doing. Like that's so you're ratcheting or something. Somebody said you're ratcheting or something like that. And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, that means that they're being ratchet. I was like, but what is ratchet? Oh, you know what I mean? Like basically like saying something about how I felt about it. So that's how I do it in my way, kind of thing.
Definitely. I think it's a good way to keep your blackness, but I can see how a lot of us keeping our identity or questioning other people can make them feel really uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I guess I want to give some advice on, or even what our thoughts are on really maintaining our professionalism when explaining our blackness in the workplace. And when we have those open discussions, in what way can we remain professional without people feeling like, oh, you're making me feel uncomfortable, or you're an angry black woman, or you're an angry black man, or, you know, making them feel like I can't say anything to you because you're going to take everything as race. So, I don't know. What do you think? What ways do you like stay professional when you are addressing things like ratchet?
I just say, oh wow, y'all. Like, well, my initial response was, oh wow, y'all are wild. And they were like, what? They're just ratcheting. And I was like, yeah, but you just said ratchet. And they were like, yeah, they're being ratchet. Like they just they didn't see a problem with what they said. So I kind of like, said something about it. So I guess speaking up, but that's one way that I do it. But I do know how uncomfortable it is. 'Cause I just now got the strength to say something because I'm not somebody who likes checking people in public about it, and it was a very large setting. So that's the one way that I can go about it, is like being like, oh okay, like speaking to just one person. But that's the way that how I maintain it, or I don't know if that was what you were saying. I feel like I went off track.
No, you're right. I think I actually had this problem, or it found it to be very hard to do, is maintain my professionalism when doing it, because I don't know if specifically is if there's a way to maintain your professionalism when you're explaining your blackness, especially to a person who doesn't understand or is just really outside of themselves and thinks and takes everything too personal, if that makes sense. Where race is a hard discussion for them to discuss, and they don't want to seem like the bad guy, but some of the things that they say aren't appropriate. So I don't know how you can really stay professional in an environment that's so toxic like that. I think at some point to maintain my professionalism is just to, I think, take note of everything that you feel is racist or discriminatory against you in the workplace, and make sure that you're speaking to someone in like HR, and that you're making sure that you're addressing any of these situations that make you feel uncomfortable. Because at the same time, because a part of making them feel comfortable is not making yourself feel uncomfortable neither, with explaining things like that. Because you want to help out the next sister or brother that comes in the workplace who may get fired, or maybe get may have that talk to say that, their blackness is an issue or a problem, or makes them feel uncomfortable, when it's really just their culture and who they are. So I found that to be something that's really complicated for us right now. And I think something needs to happen and I don't even know if something can happen really with who manages us and how they really think about race and who they look at you as an individual person and not, oh, you're being too urban or you're being too black, and it's not our culture here in the workplace, if that makes sense. So it kind of goes back to like that culture of power thing that I discussed that we talked about in the workplace, is where a lot of people outside of our race think they have this, well, stereotype, not stereotype, but expectations that have been set for so long by the white male, right? To say these things are deemed to be successful. This is what you're supposed to look like. This is what you're supposed to sound like. And most of those things are similar to our oppressors, right? And if we don't look like them or sound like them or wear our hair like them, things like that, they see that to be something that's, not professional or not something that's supposed to be, oh, that's going to get you to be successful. So I find that to be disturbing, honestly. But it's good to take note of stuff like that and not want to be in a workplace that makes you feel uncomfortable trying to make other people feel comfortable.
Right.
Feel me? Yeah.
I totally understand that. Which is why brings to mind, that's why exactly why I want to be an entrepreneur, because I would hope to not have to deal with that. Owning my own business. Yeah. I know it may come about, but I mean, you can always pick and choose most times with who you do business with most times.
Right. And I just think we should definitely be just transparent, staying to, keeping our professionalism, because professionalism is a thing, but it doesn't have to look a certain way, if that makes sense. So just keeping that and making sure you take note of things that make you feel uncomfortable in the workplace and reporting that kind of stuff to HR, because they need to know what's happening, because that could easily be a lawsuit. Really. Yeah. Yes. Do you think it's important that we adapt to our managers or CEOs and stuff like that to be, well liked or maybe move up in the company? You think it's important that we adapt to them?
Like you said, professionally, yeah. Like you were saying earlier, of course, Mariah, you're not going to curse in the workplace. So yeah, obviously, in some situations, you would curse, with your friends or whatever the case is. Obviously, not in the workplace. So yes, in that aspect, not retrospect, but as far as who you are, no. Here at this position, I've been grateful enough not to have to adapt to my managers, because for the most part, they know who I am in a social workplace setting. So I haven't had to adapt. So I personally should be. I don't think that you should have on a certain level as far as basically changing everything about yourself. But as far as certain things like being professional, absolutely. Like if you're not a professional person, get professional real quick in a professional setting. But as far as changing everything about you to adapt, no. That makes sense.
Yeah, because then you're losing your identity.
Right.
If you do that. Exactly. So it's important. In some, as an act of persuasion, I think a lot of people would say that maybe it is good to be like or try to adapt to your manager style or kind of do what they kind of like to do. It's more of like a sales technique, even persuasion, to get people to say, oh, I really like this person because they're like me or they look like me. And usually that's a big quote that I say a lot is we like people that like us, people that look like us. And some of that can be true in some aspects, but adapting to your manager by looking like them or acting like them, I don't think it's the most successful way to get to the top. But I think maybe watching their moves, watching what they do, especially if you're a type of person who wants to take their place one day or you want to be higher up in the company. So it's a good idea to, follow in their footsteps, as in maybe if it's their work that they're doing, not who they are specifically, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with having someone that you can look up to and say, hey, I want to follow in their footsteps because that's how I'm going to get into that position. And this is how hard they had to work, so I'm going to have to work this hard. just things like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. So let's go ahead and get into the Black Business of the Week. I definitely want to shout out Eboni Coleman. She is someone I went to school with. I also grew up with her as well. She started her own business. It's called Plates or Plats, and I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Plats. Where can you find her? She's on IG as Ebony underscore Boni, EBONI underscore BONEE. And basically, what she's doing is she is selling chicken and waffles, and she's doing it from her home, and she has been delivering the plates.
Yay! Congrats, girl.
Everyone, and she's had great sales. Her signature chicken and waffles are now $12 with a $3.50 delivery fee with 2 order minimum within a 10-mile radius. And she delivers from 3 to 8 p.m. She takes cash or card. And find her at Cold Crush on Sundays as well. She's also there giving the plates out and doing what she needs to do. So I'm super proud of her of being the Black Business of the Week. Keep doing your thing, Ebony. Perfect. So I want to go ahead and finish up and say thank you guys so much for being a part of Melanin Voices. We really, really appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of our journey and listening in. So if you guys have any discussion, questions, or actually want to join the podcast, definitely can. We have plenty of topics that we like to discuss. So if you feel strongly for something, then come on. Even if you felt strongly against something we said, come on and talk about it with us. Because it's all about your voices. Our Melanin Voices. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, like Michelle was saying, we really do appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.